Advanced Warfare. The game that introduced the two most hated things in Call of Duty history, supply drops and exosuits. Now to be fair, these things were probably most likely added because of Activision, but nonetheless it was the patient zero for future Call of Duty games. Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day today. Finally, after like 5 months of continuously postponing this video and even to the point of even forgetting that I was meant to do it, I am here to deliver. The main reason I'm doing this in October when there is only 2 months basically left in 2020 is basically I recently stumbled upon a video of the complete story of Advanced Warfare's Exo Zombies, and it kind of sparked my interest with some bits. Apart from that, obviously in less than a month Cold War Zombies will be officially releasing, which I personally absolutely cannot wait for. I thought, what better time to do an Exo Zombies video than now? Anyway, if you don't know what this is basically the finale to a little series that I've been essentially making over the year of 2020, and I go over different takes on zombies and talk about how they play in 2020, what the origin of the releases are, the story of the zombies game, and what I think will happen with the game for the future. So if you want to go down memory lane, then I recommend sitting back and enjoying listening to my voice for another few minutes. Before we fully continue, be sure to subscribe if you're new here, as I will be making a good few videos on Call of Duty Cold War Zombies. Don't mind my current content, and also a like would be more than appreciated. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with some basics. Advanced Warfare officially released on November 4th of 2014. Its release was a mixed kind of reaction, as it was totally new thing in Call of Duty style of gameplay, since it decided to add a mechanic that fans of Call of Duty slowly began to despise over the coming years, that being exosuits and just exo jumping in general. Now this game came out straight away after Ghost, which honestly was also not a very well received game by the Call of Duty fan base, and then to have this theme of bad game back to back threw many people off the game, and well, I myself believe that was when Call of Duty just kind of began to start declining in popularity. Personally, for some odd reason, I really enjoyed playing Advanced Warfare. It was different from other games, and from my memories on the game and playing with my friends, I had a pretty good time, but nobody really ever expected a zombies game mode. Well, until something slightly specific happened in a survival based game mode that came with the base game that I'll talk about momentarily. But in general, Advanced Warfare as a base game isn't the worst. It took some risky steps, and to be honest, it would have been way better off if they never would have done these. I wonder what kind of different games would we have gotten if not for the implementation of exosuits, but that's a talk for a different day. Fun fact: the reason I am making this video is only because of the story. Now, the story in this game isn't anything special, but it is so ridiculous, so over the top that I love it. I honestly forgot how much Oz, who is the main playable character, hates Atlas. Now I'm going to do this differently for once, as in my previous videos of Zombies in 2020 I spoke about the full story of the game, which honestly, now that I look back at it, what is the point? This is a video about the game in 2020, so I'm going to talk about what we in 2020 know of the story and what the hell it could all possibly mean, as this is the most interesting bit of the game in my opinion. So if you don't know the story of Exo Zombies, it's a bit different. It keeps a lot of secrets from us, which is a bit unfortunate, as from my guess we will never see this plot come back. So from our understanding, Oz was the main reason of the outbreak in each of the maps. From what we know, the reason for this was because he was a Sentinel soldier who was of many people experimented on at the Atlas Corporation, which was kind of also at a prison, which was the survival game mode where it took place at the end, where the zombie breakout kind of arrived at a certain location. It's kind of confusing, just bear with me. And progressing through the maps, it seemed that Atlas was just further testing the effects of zombies outbreaks on Oz, Lilith, Decker, and Khan. But when the Sentinels got involved, they ended up killing Oz and making things a bit worse as they progressed through the last 2 maps after defending Big Chungus Oz. We find a little bit of an odd scene where it turns out Atlas cloned Oz like 100 times. Conclusion: Oz is their bioweapon. So basically he was at the prison most likely, even though some kind of nuke went off from what we saw. He was the person that was the main cause of the outbreak in the map. Outbreak, infection, the other two. Instead of dropping bombs, instead they drop Oz. So that's it. Yeah, it's not much to talk about. Now there are some other interesting bits in the story, like going from outbreak to infection. The characters wake up in body bags, and on top of that, at the end of the map infection and beginning of DLC 3, we learn that they were all actually killed but brought back for the outbreak in infection. There's a lot they could have tapped in with this game mode, but in my opinion, what affected the story in the end was the fact that this was the first ever attempt at zombies outside of Treyarch, and even at that, they did the best they could, in my opinion. Now let's talk about the gameplay and the game in general. First thing I want to mention, in 2020, it feels very odd to be back to this kind of mechanic of exosuits. This was before they felt like advantage in gameplay and more like an essential movement to get to high places. And in my opinion, exosuits in zombies just don't work. We've never seen this again. Even in Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare, they were boots on the ground, no exosuits. If anything, in Advanced Warfare, we had the zero gravity at times, but that just kind of felt better than exosuits. But that just might be my opinion. Now, I only own the first 2 DLC maps, so I can't go over every single map there is. So I'm going mainly to talk about the base map itself, Outbreak, as DLC 2, Burger Town, Infection, whatever you want to call it, it is literally unplayable with its terrible addition of rescuing survivors, bad map design, and just in general, bad map. So I gave it one go, and after I died to the Goliath, I gave up. So that brings us to the normal DLC 1 Outbreak map. It's not a bad map in any kind of way. For the first map, they gave it a good go, and something I never tried before, I decided to see how fast it would take to find a lobby in the game, and surprisingly, pretty fast on Outbreak. But then on Infection, it took a bit longer. Actually, turns out nobody plays it. I unfortunately wasn't able to try it with the other 2 maps, but I'm gonna take a guess that the only reason Outbreak has players is due to the fact that the game itself comes with the DLC 1 now extra, so people just have it. The gameplay side of things, it feels like a much harder version of zombies. I think it is because you obviously start the game with no exosuit, but have to progress through the map and get one before other zombies start spawning with the exosuits on. And there's a slight variation of zombies in DLC 1 from what I can see, with weird goopy blowing up zombies, electric zombies that deactivate your exosuit. Honestly, I am not a very big fan of these. You have some stronger zombies and, well, a new dog round rotation that cycles from your obviously classic dogs that now look like they got their skins burnt off, like an aftermath of what the Treyarch hellhounds would look like if they stopped burning, and a new infection round that I actually kind of like, since it spices up the rounds and kind of forces you to camp in a certain location to cure yourself from the infection. Aside from that, zombies gameplay doesn't change much over time. What I mean by this, it doesn't change from 2015 when the DLC came out up to 2020. I think the only one that I can think of that changed was Infinite Warfare and maybe Black Ops 4, and that was just because they added DLC guns to the game, which kind of, I guess, changed some things up. Speaking of guns, I gotta give something to Exo Zombies. A huge props for one thing, and that is the Cell 3. Oh boy, that gun is great. It's super satisfying to use, and it just looks goddamn sexy. Last thing I guess I'll mention is that Exo Zombies have a different type of pack-a-punch. Instead of it being, you know, one upgrade and maybe you can add on some more abilities to it, it's an upgrade system that puts attachments and camos to your gun as you slowly have to upgrade it to be able to kill the zombies. It kind of goes up to like a Mark 25 from my understanding. I think there's an even further Easter egg to make it even more stronger, and yeah, that's kind of it. They implemented some new perks, I guess, like a ground slam, and I don't think there's a perk limit. That's kind of it. They have, you know, your classic quick revive, jug, but they're all called different things. The Easter eggs were basic as they didn't tap into anything huge, and I guess DLC 4 implemented, from my understanding, the first ever boss fight we got in zombies, but I might be wrong. In conclusion, Exo Zombies was an attempt for the first time at zombies game mode outside of Treyarch, and I guess Sledgehammer did the best they could. They tried to include some kind of story and some kind of plot, but in the end it fell through because we'll never know what it actually meant and was gonna lead to. The gameplay feels a bit dated in the year 2020, and yeah, I guess I'll give Zombies a 6 out of 10. Zombies? You know what? Actually a 6.5. Yeah, there's Sledgehammer. I love your games, but boy, you need to kind of do more homework on your zombies. And even after World War II, you still kind of need more attempts before you perfect it. Even though World War II was definitely better story and gameplay wise than Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies, but we'll probably again never see the continuation of World War II or Exo Zombies, as Sledgehammer is back to what it was in the past. We're back to the 2 rotations of Infinity Ward and Treyarch. RIP. Can I get an F in the chat or a RIP in the chat? Whatever there is. Anyway, that's going to be for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope I was kind of entertaining and I pointed out some better information. As I progressed through these kind of 2020 versions of zombies, I tried my best to do more of my work and kind of work on it. This script took me over a week to work on, and in general getting the gameplay. Now I'm going to college, so this took me a very long time. If you're a subscriber and you're kind of expecting other content, like let's say Fall Guys, like I've been making recently a lot, I'm trying to strain away from that slowly. I'll still be making some Fall Guys content here and there, but since Cold War is coming out and I kind of really got back into zombies, and the zombies community is definitely more alive than it was back when Black Ops 4 was around, I really enjoy being back. If you didn't know, I started this YouTube channel as a zombies YouTube channel, and that's what was my goal. I really wanted to tap into zombies and be a Call of Duty YouTuber, which I still would like to do, but Modern Warfare just didn't hit the spot with me. But I pre-ordered Cold War, I tried out the beta, I had so much fun on it. I think it's a great game, and it does feel like Modern Warfare in a bit, in the menus and stuff like that, but I don't care. We're getting zombies, that's all that matters. It actually looks good for once. Black Ops 4 kind of sucked in my opinion. If you want to see a kind of Black Ops 4 in 2020, I guess I could make a video on that, even though, you know, the game was out 2 years ago, so what would be the point? And then again, considering the fact that, you know, I still have to do like World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2, I can't really do those unless I buy them on PC, and god damn it, they're kind of expensive on PC, not gonna lie. I tried to get an Elgato and I guess do it on my Xbox 360. But without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Again, a subscribe and a like would be very much appreciated. This was a lot of work, but you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm just happy you watched the video to this point, even if you're here, and I hope you really enjoyed it because I kind of had fun talking about it and making it. Finally, some new content. Yippee. Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.